This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Get ready. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome. This is Racer Radio FM 96.1, AM 1170, The Answer. All right, folks, welcome back. You are listening to Racer Radio on FM 96.1, AM 1170, The Answer. I like that song. That's what caught me off guard. Hey, this segment is brought to you by El Cajon Ford, where absolutely nobody treats you better than El Cajon Ford. 1595 East Main Street in El Cajon. Go to elcajonford.com. Buy new, buy used, get your car serviced. They're rocking it. And this is Barona Circle Track segment. And just go to baronaspeedway.com. Stay on top of their website so you'll know what's going on. Or just keep listening to Britney. When you hear the blood-curdling scream, you'll know we're back. But right now, the voice of Barona Speedway, Dirt Dude. How you doing, Budsky?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We're doing great. How are you doing? What are you up to?
Just doing my normal Sunday stuff around the house, getting ready waiting for our season to start. So, got to start off wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day, all the mothers out there. And I think I have maybe an interesting story about Darren Brown and his mom.
Sure.
I think one time he'd gotten to the winner's circle and he had one of his main event wins, and he was happy that his mother wasn't there.
What?
Because he didn't want her to know how he got all the way to the front and the way that he drove there. But he's like, my mom doesn't want to come see my races, so I'm thankful she's not here for it, but I dedicate every race that I win to her.
Isn't that sweet? Well, she is an absolute, just a doll. It was great having her on. I'm sure, I don't know, were you listening?
Yeah, I'm in my garage working and got the radio going.
All right. Well, did you hear that answer when we asked her, well, you ever want to get in the race? No. I mean, she almost tore our heads off.
You have to think.
From afar. That was amazing. So what are you on, the
Not
third?
Everyone's a big fan of racing, but they're a big fan of being part of the family.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you on the third drawer?
Oh, no. I'm doing screen replacement today, doing some old window screen replacement. It's that time of year. You got to have the windows open. You got to keep the bugs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just showed Brandon this really cool salt machine, salt gun.
Yes, I have one of those.
Do you really?
Yes.
Are you any good?
Well, Steve has one of them. He loves shooting
the flies.
it, and then I have to go around and vacuum.
Oh, all the flies and the salt?
The salt gets everywhere. Isn't that what it's called? Like salt or something?
Yeah, something right there.
Yeah.
Are they illegal assault fly weapons?
They are legal.
These days they're not, but no, they're legal. He gave them to all his friends and family for Christmas a couple of years ago.
Did he really?
You'd like it, Dirt Dude.
Yeah, I think you would. I mean, can you imagine just sitting back, just having a beer, shooting flies?
Away.
Well, there was one of those that was trending on Facebook the other day, and it showed one of those in a box of salt. And then it's like they all turn into, because those new killer wasps that are coming. Oh, yeah. Another one was just a 12-gauge shotgun. Like, we're just going to take them out.
I know. That's funny. So any news on the track as far as practice or anything?
Well, there's good news from tracks around us because Paris just had practice last night.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't think
last night.
Yeah, but they wouldn't allow spectators. I think the drivers could go. No. I'm right there with you. I mean, I probably could have won if I pushed it hard enough, but that's great. Did you watch the Chili Bowl iRacing last night?
Nope. I was watching.
There's another one.
Nope.
There's another one. Nope.
iRacing is fun, and it's like a little niche kind of thing, like every once in a while. But
the tone of his
I'm not going to sit down and be like glued to the TV on iRacing
with popcorn and a beer. No, not hardly.
How he said that said a lot.
I know.
It's fun.
Yeah, I know. He's trying to be nice. He's trying to be polite, but. All right.
But something interesting I ran into. I was on a job site and I ran across one of my buddies, Chris Lapp,
Oh.
He used to run one of the ponies.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But he's picked up a street stock, and he's now in with the boys, Dave Capella, Jake Triska,
He's going to learn
Mike
a lot
Pridgeon.
about that.
Those guys are all going to be running together, and they're talking about doing some practice, and they can't wait to get to the track and start running. So our street stock division, along with, the used to be the 81 of Greg Mann, has now got the
I hate that.
I know, right?
Paul Dyke from El Cajon Ford will be now piloting that as his new ride for the season.
Yeah. Yeah, and Paul, have you seen the car? You seen he's doing a retro off-road Ford truck with the red, white, and blue colors, I think, or blue and white?
There's blue.
I've seen some pictures of that. It's going to be cool. And to know that where that car came from and he picked it up, I know it probably didn't take much to get it there, but I'm sure he probably did a lot of work to it. It's probably going to be a great group.
Oh, yeah. Well, Paul, I mean, that guy, everybody. That's why I was telling Brittany off air, once we're allowed to go back, I mean, I think the track is going to have more attendance and more cars than it's ever had. All this did was cause people to realize how bad they missed it. The person that says, well, I'll go to the race next week, or I'll go to the No, we got to go now because you never know when this thing can close down again.
Oh.
I'm hoping that, now that a lot of drivers have moved up, and I know, Alyssa Smith from up in the north area,
Yeah.
she's got a modified now, and they can travel anywhere. So she hopefully will be hitting some of the other tracks. And I've heard some people talking about getting the B mod, which is like the start of the mod division. It's a lower class mod start roller chassis kind of thing. And then so you're not fully into it like a full modified. But then, I heard a lot of people picking those up. Plus, we have that Hornet class that we're going to be running. So it should be a really good season once we can get going. I think our car counts are going to be great.
Yeah, this whole time, we haven't been spending money on racing. So maybe people even feel like I've got the money to do a solid half season.
Yeah. But don't you think, Dirt Dude, that people better get their cars ready because you just never know when the gates are opening? I'm saying that for a reason.
Now's the time. I mean, I know a lot of people are ready and ready to go, but then there's a few more people that are like, wait till, if we start racing, I'll be ready. I'm like, no, you can't put your car together overnight. You should be already having it done. So when practice starts, you can go practice.
Right.
Put your car together, go practice.
I heard it from my crew chief at least 3 times yesterday.
Yeah,
you better make sure you're ready.
She's sitting right across from me is the reason I brought that up.
Yeah, he's looking at me when he said it because minimum 3 times yesterday. Yeah. You better make sure it's ready because it's going to come sooner than you think.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Well, how much do you really have to do?
No, I'm race ready. It was just things.
Is your car race ready, Brittany?
My car is race ready. It is even clean. It is race ready. It's just there were some upgrades that I was interested in.
Oh, did you ever reach out to the power steering guy?
I looked into it, certainly. I've even kind of decided which one. But like fuel lines, I wanted to replace my fuel lines. They're 2 years old. But, I mean, it's ready. My whole car is ready to go. It's just, I didn't do the upgrade yet. I mean, I even did a compression test 2 weeks ago, and the numbers look great.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did you do a wet and dry or just dry?
Dry.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because if they do it dry and they're good.
Have you been changing gears around for your different tracks, Brittany?
Pardon?
Have you been changing gears around for different tracks?
I had to for
Cocoa
Cocoa
Paw. Or are you running
Paw.
pretty much the same gear?
Cocoa Paw, because it's big, and up at Quincy, they were both big tracks, so I had to run.
Did you do the gear change?
Half or up half a mile?
What was the distance of them? A half mile, if that's what you were asking.
Yeah, so it's Cocoa Paw.
Yes.
I think everything else, like Paris is a half mile on the outside, and they run the quarter on the inside.
Oh, yeah. I don't have a quick change, so it took a little bit. My dad and I.
Yeah.
Actually, the Browns were nice enough to change my gears as well because I showed up with the wrong gears to Mojave. We were kind of guessing on the way there, and then a bunch of us were talking, and they're like, yeah, I think you put the wrong gear in. So I think we swapped it out 3 times last season.
Those car owners took you underneath their wing, and, man, they've helped you a lot.
Oh, blessed. I have such a strong corner.
Right. Well, it's the bacon sandwiches. You keep bringing bacon sandwiches.
That and root beer floats.
And root beer floats.
Oh, I travel, especially now because of Cruise America. I have a freezer, and I busted out root beer floats one time, too. And, I've got, I come around with the Otter Pops. Dirt Dude knows. I have Otter Pops. And
yeah, it's the cookies that I don't get.
That's just because they're all gone by the time I get there. I always make sure for Fire Crew I have a small, bunch at least left. I have to walk away from the pits and head straight to the fire crew to make sure they get some. But it's all started because my first year, so many people were giving me such good advice, and I felt like I couldn't give anything in return. That's how that all started. I'm like, I need to give something. Well, I can make cookies, so I'm like, I just called them crew cookies, and that's just kind of where that all started. Because
so
I have been given so much, and I want to give in return.
But isn't that what Barona is all about? Really,
just
new driver comes in. You know, everybody surrounds that person to make sure they're ready to go.
That's awesome part of it.
Yeah, it's like family.
I think that's what a lot of us are missing.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I mean, of course, we're missing the track and the adrenaline and the competition.
The
but
camaraderie.
It's bigger than that. And I think even Julie Brown, the moms, the little sisters that come, they're all missing that big aspect of it as well.
Well, it's right around the corner.
It is.
So get your car ready.
I just got goosebumps. Look.
I know. Look, she's all bumpy.
It's right around the corner.
All right.
Come on, Barona, we can do this.
All right, buddy. Hey, always great having you call in. Thank you very much. And go practice standing in front of the mirror and
He doesn't do that,
I know,
Dave.
but I like bugging him about it.
You guys have a great day. And, as soon as I hear something, we'll let you know.
You're the man, buddy. And we got to get ready for KUSI.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. Take care, folks. That's Barona Speedway. Go to baronaspeedway.com. baronaspeedway.com. All right, folks. You're listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170. The Answer. This segment is brought to you by the good folks at Paris Auto Speedway. Tell you what, they had practice last night. We got Scott Delosio on the line. So were you there, Hot Rod?
No. It's very limited to the amount of people who can come out. Initially practice actually started last week.
Oh.
And the first days, it was limited to 10 people total there, 4 cars and 10 people.
Oh, I got you.
So that meant if there were 4 cars, it was 2 people per car plus 2 people from the racetrack had to be there. That has been expanded as of earlier this week. Now it's no limit on cars. It's up to 25 people in the pit area at one time.
Okay.
So, no, wasn't there. The track's pretty much booked night and day, Saturdays and Sundays right now.
That's awesome.
So how are they going to know? How are they going to know which way to go without you being there?
Well, it just me not being there helps get rid of the chaos.
It helps.
Come on, you got to be able to tell them which way to go, or they're going to just be banging into each other.
No. Stay here and kick back till it's time to go racing. There's enough work to do. In fact, right now, first of all, I want to tell everybody from Paris Auto Speedway, all the mothers out there, hopefully you guys are having a great Mother's Day, despite what we're all going through right now. And we're starting something tomorrow. We've been trying to keep the fans engaged throughout this whole ordeal, just to keep their interest up. And starting tomorrow, we got a poll going on Facebook that's going to go for like 14 days, 2 days at a time, for the fans' choice is the best sprint car driver ever to race at Paris Auto Speedway.
Oh.
And we found the top 8 winners are the guys with most wins, the top 8 drivers. We're going to pair them off And we're going to have polls every 2 days. We'll eliminate a driver, and we'll come down with a final guy in the end. So anybody who wants to check that out, it starts tomorrow morning.
So, and all they have to do is go to Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Paris Auto Speedway on Facebook. The poll will be up near the top of our page. It's going to start off with Corey Kruzman and Ricky Gaunt for the first pair.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough choice.
Probably.
Yeah, you think?
I'm not going to say, but
Oh.
He can't. He's the announcer. He has to be neutral, right?
yes,
All
of
right.
course.
Absolutely.
We ain't talking politics here. We're talking racing.
Yeah, well, that's true, too. There is something to be said by that. And by the way, Brittany, don't ask him about iRacing.
Oh, gosh. Now I'm
Yeah,
curious.
He will tear your head off where he's at.
Please.
See? Please.
I'm still not clear on where he is.
He don't like it. He's not an iRacing fan. Don't even
I
get
can
it.
respect that opinion.
I can, too.
I can.
You want to talk hockey now? That's
That's right. You've mentioned that before.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does like hockey.
Have you been enjoying all the vintage hockey games they've been putting on TV?
Yeah, somewhat. I've been so busy. I mean, actually, as busy as I normally am. So I've just been concentrating on doing a lot of work, and I just haven't had the TV on as much, actually.
Wow. That's good. That's good. You're keeping
But
yourself.
it's good when it's on there.
Well, you got puppies too, so let's
Yeah,
be
we
real.
got dogs around all over the house. Watched the fights yesterday through the dogs jumping on top of me, laying on the floor, but it was fun. I watched the fights on TV, not the dogs fight.
Yeah, I gotcha. So with the practice out of Paris, I'm sure it was. I bet that was probably as good as racing. Of course, you weren't there, but.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are chomping at the bits to get out there, so that's one of the reasons it's being booked pretty heavy. Guys, they can't race right now, but they want to get out and
It's still
they
fun.
want to get the feel, run their stuff. It's like, when I played hockey, it was the off season. I still like to get on the ice and go to practice. As much as I hated that, during the off season, it was fun to go do it. So yeah, a lot of people are waiting for it. County of Riverside, the county commissioners on Friday made a recommendation that face wear be optional and social distancing could be pushed aside. So we're getting a little bit closer. I don't know when. We have not canceled any races starting in June yet. Having said that, that can change any moment.
Sure.
Don't jinx it.
So let me ask you this: how do you guys decide who gets to come out and practice and who doesn't?
Guy who calls up and has the money in hand is
Okay.
bottom line.
Honey talks.
The racetrack is always rented.
Right.
I mean, we're not talking just during this. The racetrack has always been available for rent. People call in and they, say, I want to rent the track.
Boom.
And they can rent the track for themselves, or they can rent the track with another group of drivers. That's what most of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Is they'll come with a group of drivers and they split the cost that way.
Yeah.
Which saves. It's a big money-saving cost if you split it.
Sure.
It's a great time to try out something new, suspension, or hey, I'm going to put the Panhard here and just see how it
what it
feels.
does.
Yeah.
Without the pressure of having to actually, run a race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Take notes on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
school teacher says that.
School teacher says that.
I take notes.
And hopefully with things opening up a bit, like say it's up to 25 people now. For a while there, the entire fairgrounds was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you limit it to 10 people at first, well, basically you eliminate the possibility of TV shows or commercials or, we've had videos, people come out and shot videos there. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even do that.
Right.
Wow.
So now, that's all open possibility again for people to be able to come out and do that as well. And hopefully follow not too far away with racing.
I appreciate your optimism.
Yeah,
I really appreciate your optimism on that.
Well, my wallet's getting emptier. I've got to be optimistic.
Okay.
Something's going to change here.
Isn't that the truth? So if somebody wants to rent the track, just go ParisAutoSpeedway.com and there's a link.
Yeah, or you can actually go on Facebook or Paris Auto Speedway. You can call the racetrack, email Don.
Well, Don's always
they'll
there.
get right back to you.
Yeah, Don's always there.
Yeah, he's always around doing something. So, they get back, especially now. I mean, You look at racetracks right now, and you see not only are people not coming through the gates, sponsors right now they're holding on to their dollars till they see what's going to happen.
Sure.
So, with your track sponsors, a lot of they're in a spot as well. I mean, their bottom line's being affected. So they've kind of got to hold out as well, too, to see what's going to happen, be politically correct, won't say anything bad.
Yeah, no, I'm right. I'm right there with you, brother. Well, like I said, and it's still a week by week, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I talked to Don yesterday and asked him about what do you want me to do with the schedules online? Should I start pulling off races in June? We talked earlier in the week, and he was hoping for mid to late June, but nothing set in concrete.
Right.
And I asked him yesterday, and he goes, "Well, don't pull anything off at all yet."
Yeah,
they have such big stands too.
Well, what are the what? I mean, I haven't followed because I don't follow the illness in different towns. But what is it like in Paris? As far as how many people have corona, how many unfortunate deaths do they have in corona? I mean, do you know any of that at all?
I don't really know that. I follow Riverside County somewhat. I don't think there's been that much in the city of Paris at all.
Right.
I mean, it's not the world's biggest city. There is testing, free testing at the fairgrounds.
Right.
But I have not heard that there's that much in Paris. But then again, I haven't heard that much about any particular city in Riverside County. So,
and that's my point.
You just see the total county statistic. And hopefully, like I say, we get back as soon as we can. When we talked yesterday, I asked Don, he's maintained all along that we are going to, every race that's been canceled, every race has been postponed. It has not been canceled.
Right.
And as of right now, and I asked him yesterday, I goes, this still hold forward that everything that's been postponed is going to be made up? And he said, yeah.
Yeah.
He said he's got 4 or 5 schedule scenarios worked out that could take us right through mid to the week before Christmas. Try to get everybody's stuff in.
Yeah. And as long as the weather holds, I think we got enough rain this year that you shouldn't see rain again till next year.
I'm sure we're not going to see any rain. I was telling a friend of mine in Wisconsin today, owns a USAC National Sprint car. He said it was snowing there today.
What?
I'm going, we probably won't see any rain here again in this area, up the Paris area, probably till mid-September to early October.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, September, October. Yeah, well, that's just – and I was telling Brittany off air that, everybody's they're so pent up that once the gates are open, I think you guys are going to be packed. I'm serious.
Well, yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to be packed. That's an unknown right now. There have been races. There was a race last night up in Marysville, California. Well, I think they limited it to like 400 or 500.
Oh, wow.
Really?
So, and that's, people are, you ain't going to be able to race in California. Well, Marysville's in California. They raced last night.
It was the last time I looked.
There is racing going on in the state. Right now, it's still, you got to, play the games to be safe, which I totally understand that. I mean, nobody wants to get sick. Nobody wants to be around for somebody else to get sick.
No, absolutely.
So we're going to have to deal with that for a while. I think we're getting a lot closer. I hope we're getting a lot closer. Like I say, we've got to deal with politicians, as you see on the TV every day, who have outgrown their helmet size, obviously, through all this going on. Not to mention any governor in particular.
Oh, we won't even bring him up.
But these people have to realize this economy ain't going to work.
No.
If they keep limiting it, and racetracks are a part of that.
Well, if we took away their salary, we'd be opening up way quicker.
Well, they're convicts. They just go out and rob banks or something.
Well, no, he's right. No, he's absolutely.
They're criminals.
Totally. But we won't go political. Hey, let me ask you this: are you going to do temperatures? You going to do temperature testing? Or you guys talked about that?
When I talked to him yesterday, one of our sponsors, our track sponsors, an equipment rental company, had some deal that you would walk through and would do like a sanitization on you. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
And actually take your temperature as well. So it would only cost $34,000. But they can be rented. So we're going to do whatever we're told we have to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can go sideball around the side and try to step around it and be a rear end wipe and try to get away with things, but in the end, you're going to get caught.
No, you don't want to do that. You want to do it right.
And bottom line, you make a you-know-what of yourself when you get caught doing something stupid.
I would just get the fire department to pull up with a pumper truck, and then anybody that walks through the door, you hit them with the hose.
Great, Dave.
Well, give them a bar of soap, let them take a bath.
There you go. You're the best. All right, buddy. Hey, get back to whatever you're doing, and don't tell me you've been working that hard. I think you've been relaxing.
He mentioned that
we've been working
times
today, but once again, all moms, hope you guys have a great Mother's Day. We wouldn't be here without you.
You got that right. All right, brother. You take care and say hi to Don. We love him to death.
Thank you. Will do.
All right. This is Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170. The Answer. All right, folks. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170, The Answer. The segment brought to you by Certified Car Clinic, 11370 North Woodside Avenue in Santee. Go to CertifiedCarCare.net. They'll work on your everyday driver, and if you have a race car, they'll do that as well. And they don't care, sand, dirt, or asphalt. They do it all. CertifiedCarCare.net. Check them out. Tell them you heard it right here on KCBQ, AM 1170, The Answer. All right, well, Britney Sandoval has been coming in periodically. Thank you very much for doing it.
My pleasure.
That's because the race season is not going on. Let's see how well she does when the race season starts.
Yeah.
But, she is a school teacher by trade and a racer by night.
Yes.
And loves it.
I do.
What got you into racing?
Ooh, how do I make this short? Well, I'll say I love a challenge. So if anybody offers me a challenge, I will consider it. I don't go in recklessly.
Right.
The shortest story. Teacher, custodians come in every day, take care of the room.
Right.
Little did I know that the custodian in room 108 was a retired race car driver.
So and he said, hey.
Well, it was 2 years. I was like in the middle of a 2-year interview I didn't know I was in the middle of. We would just swap stories about going stupid fast. So he'd tell me about race car stories, and I'd tell him about motorcycles and horseback and mountain biking, all the stuff I used to do. And then he told me about Barona. He said, come on out. I got some cars. I got some drivers. And so I drug my family out there a couple times this season. And every time I'd go to the top of the stands and I'd say, hi, Richard. I'm Miss Sandoval from Lewis. I'm not sure if you remember me. And he introduced me to his friends. And so that happened maybe 5 or 6 times. And then I didn't see him for a while. I'm not kidding you. End of the school day. I'm locking things up. And Richard Massa comes shuffling into my school classroom with a picture of a dwarf car.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, Miss Sandoval, I want you to race my car.
Look, goosebumps.
And I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, take
What do
your
I say?
time,
Yeah.
be cool.
Don't be excited.
So I was like, I'll take my time. And within 2 seconds, I'm like, of course I will. But I've never raced a car before, right? And he's like, I know, but I've been getting to know you these last 2 years.
Wow.
And every time I was walking up to say hi to him, his friends were kind of, I didn't know. I was in the middle of an interview. And
God.
so then I drug my family out again to watch the dwarf cars race. That's a unique division. They're
Very unique.
sketchy and they're open wheeled and they're going fast.
Wicked fast.
There's, for a long time, I'd say even now, there are at least 20 of us in a main event, so there's little room for error and recovery.
Yeah.
So I remember Steve saying, at the time, the Pinto was up for sale, and he goes, if I buy you that, will you race that instead? And I go, oh no, I am way too invested. I was invested by then. So we took a half a season to get his car up and running again, and then to fit me. I'm 5'3" on a good day.
Right.
In fact, so I got a smaller seat in, and I got my straps in, and got learning how to put the 5-point restraint on, and I'm buckled in, and we're like, fire her up. I couldn't reach.
You couldn't reach the ignition.
Yeah, I couldn't reach the ignition. I'm like, what? So it was just like little things like that.
So you're the only one with a 3-foot ignition switch?
In that car, yeah. A friend of mine who's an engineer, he's like, give me a couple minutes, and he brought it closer to me.
That's so cute.
And so that was the first half of the season, was just getting that car going. And then the second half of the season, I just went to practice.
Okay. So, you just went to practice. You didn't actually race.
No. I went to practice every other week. Barona used to have
and you'd go out and just practice?
Yes. And
by yourself?
During practice at Barona, you can only have one car at a time.
Right.
Yes.
So you were out there just kicking the dirt up and seeing if you could slide.
I had never raced a car before, and I started in a dwarf at age 42. Funny. So, yeah. And so then, people are sniffing around like, who's this new driver?
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, okay, that's a girl. Oh, that's an older girl. Okay. So they kind of checked me out at a distance, but I kept coming back, like, I'll crash into a wall. I'll spin out. I'll keep coming back. So I remember Catfish. He says, so when are you going to start racing? And I said, when I can hold a line. And he's like, I can respect that.
Yeah.
So then fast forward to the next season, first day, my plan was I'm going to do hot laps because that'll be the first time I'm out there with other cars. And then I'll call it a day.
Right.
Well, that was my plan, not my crew chief's plan. He's all, excuse me, we came all the way out here for hot laps?
No.
Nah. So then I did a heat race, and then I was like, okay, that's enough. And I think it was Dirt Dude. Dirt Dude came up and he goes, you qualified for the A main. And so the rest is history. I started racing that first day.
So do you remember that first race? Do you still remember it?
I do. I remember there was so much carnage. We started with 20 drivers, and I ended up 9th because I survived.
No kidding.
Yeah. I didn't pass anybody. I just survived.
Wow. And that's not knowing a thing about what you were doing.
I knew nothing, but, I've just followed. My mom and dad are the same way, and we just look forward and go.
I know. Isn't that so?
Not recklessly. I study, I practice, I ask questions. And then that family, I started to get to know the dirt track family. And so over that whole season when I raced Richard's dwarf car, at the end, I remember Mikey Hall leaning in and saying, is this your last race? Is this a bucket list? Or are we going to see you next season? Because if we're going to see you, we'll help you find a car. So then,
goosebumps again.
Yeah. So then I lucked into a B&B. Like I went it's a great chassis. People who don't know, I say it's kind of like the Mercedes of.
Really?
I had the Triple E was great, but it was a 19-year-old race car that I started in.
Wow.
19 years of racing. So it was beat up.
Oh, it was tired.
Yeah. And so then to go into a B&B.
Which is a Brown and what's the B&B?
Yeah. The Bobby Brown and Brent.
Okay.
Yeah. So Julie's son-in-law is the Brent and her husband and son are the Brown. And that is a very strong family as well. So I'm proud to have a B&B. And then running the nationals with the B&B, it's just been amazing.
Yeah. How many years you been driving now?
This is my 5th year last year. I wouldn't count this year.
Yeah. Well, you can't. Nobody can count this year.
Yeah. And I don't see myself retiring anytime soon.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because you're having. I mean, everybody needs an outlet.
Yes, I think I said last week, adrenaline is my drug of choice.
Yeah.
It took me many years to figure that out about myself. And we had talked about off air that if money was tight due to COVID, that, I bet racing would be the first to go. And I said,
you should have heard the explicitives coming out of this girl.
People don't want to be around me if I'm not involved in racing.
No, I can attest to that. I'll never stick my head in your race car again.
Here we go again.
Tore my head clean off at the neck.
Oh, jeez.
But that's what you want to do.
It is.
You have to be. If you're going to do this, you got to be serious about it.
Oh, Yeah, everybody benefits if you focus.
Yeah, because you've got so many people supporting you. And if you go out there and either act like a knucklehead or don't give it 100%, then all their hard work was for naught.
You're wasting their time, their energy, their money, and someone could get hurt, or you know, it's not worth it for me to do anything halfway.
Right.
That's just not who I am.
Yeah, I was going to say you're not a halfway girl.
No.
Yeah, it's either all or none.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That's the tagline when if any student or parent receives an email from me through school, it says, "Be your best. Why settle for less?"
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. But that's the truth, because you only have one life.
Yeah.
And if you don't give it 110%, you just wasted a perfectly good life.
Yeah, I don't even understand.
Well, no, I know. I don't either. Hey, we just got the peace sign from Brandon. Yeah, he's giving us a big peace sign.
2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, I get it. Oh, we don't have our headphones on.
Oh.
So I do that so I don't have to hear that nasty music that tells us we're not doing this. So your car's ready.
It is. If there was a race tomorrow,
You're ready.
my car would be ready.
And you're ready.
Oh,
You've been ready.
I'm ready.
Do you do anything? Do you work out? Do you do any exercise?
Yeah, back to power steering we were talking about last week. It was the second race of the Nationals last year. I was doing pretty well. And then the last few laps, I didn't know if I could
finish it.
I knew I could finish it, but I actually was afraid to go into the turns as fast as I had been most of the race. I was like, can I hold this anymore?
Yeah.
And it was noticeable. I lost 2 spots. And I came into the pits and they're like, what happened? What happened? I said, it was all me. I'm not kidding you. I drove home Sunday and Monday I joined the gym.
Oh.
I did. And I got a trainer and I told him about it. And I was so disappointed in myself because I wasn't ready. My friend's family got me there. And I let us all down.
Well, let me tell you, folks, she has guns now, so she is.
Cute ones.
Look at those. God dang, look at that girl. I hope nobody makes you mad, boy. You'll take them out. All right, folks. Hey, I hope you've had as much fun as we've had giving you the show. Britney Sandoval, Car 37. When you get out to the Barona Speedway, when it opens up, you got to give her a big thumbs up and holler at her as she comes around the track.
Come by.
Yeah, come by. She'll have cookies. And maybe bacon sandwiches. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I don't know how many people we got in for Gun Sports Radio. One. Oh, my goodness. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170, The Answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.